John. And today we have Professional Grounds Incorporated, and they should be here right about now. They should be knocking on my... Come right in, Susan. Come right in, Lonell. Here we are.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Pull
for
up a
having
stool
us.
right here. And there you are, Susan. Pull up. How do you do? Thank you very much. Pull up a stool. Make yourselves comfortable. Again, I saw you folks 2 or 3 years in a row out at the Chantilly Capital Home and Garden Show out there. And your display was absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
You show out there every year, don't you?
We do.
Yes. And that's why I had you come on, because you were on last year. There were, who was it? John was on?
Yes, John.
Let's introduce yourselves to our viewing audience. Give us a little background of yourselves.
I'm Lonell Kyle, and I have been doing landscape design here in Northern Virginia for almost 20 years. I have a degree from Virginia Tech, and I am a Virginia certified horticulturist.
And I started working in a nursery while my children were in school. And then I became a certified horticulturist through the nursery, and I have become a Fairfax County Master Gardener, and now I'm doing the plant buying for Professional Grounds.
Well, how old is Professional Grounds? Give us a little background of Professional Grounds.
It's a privately owned company serving Northern Virginia and Washington, D.C., and was established in 1974. And we have a landscape installation division, and we also do maintenance for office parks, townhome communities, and that sort of thing. We have a health plant care program for homeowners to help them maintain their beautiful landscapes after we install them.
Oh, that's a good idea. Have somebody come out and check over and find out what the problems are. What kind of help do you have? What kind of crews do you have?
Landscape foremen who have been with us for many years, and they all speak English. And our crews, the crew members are all legal documented workers. You never see our trucks stopping at a convenience store to pick up their workforce. Right. We do lots of types of installations. We do hardscapes, we do all types of gardens, and we do water features, we do outdoor lighting. So we have a very broad set of skills and tasks that we like to take on, from large estates to townhomes.
So how do you find your clients find you?
Angie's List. Angie's List is a...
Angie's List? What in the world is that?
Well, it's an online resource, and you actually have to even pay to become a member of Angie's List, but what you can find on there is from landscaping folk to plumbers, and it's all consumer driven. So if you do a wonderful project and we get on Angie's List, which is great. We've received numerous awards from Angie's List, and which is, we're very, very happy about that, because it is. If you do a poor job, then the consumer is going to go in there and say, don't use these people. But we're doing very, very well, and that's one resource with us is Angie's List.
We are going to talk about backyards in particular today, because people are increasingly wanting to spend more time at home in their backyards. So we're helping to make that a more livable space, almost like another room outdoors. Well, let's start off with a before shot. We start off with a very realistic home. This is a home in Fairfax Station. It has a small patio, a hot tub, a few other things around. And these folks wanted to be able to entertain, and so they needed a much more welcoming space that would allow them to entertain in a much more comfortable fashion.
Well, let's see what you've done.
You can see that we have a nice big flagstone patio, and there are seating walls wrapping around the outside edge of the patio, and that really helps people have place for guests to sit. It's in a nice enclosing sense to the patio, as well as the walls in the back are dry stack walls along the back border there.
The homeowner wanted this to be more of a formal setting. There's a beautiful southern magnolia in the background. There's a river birch that adds so much character, and we have a tall Japanese cryptomeria that just gives you the angles by the patio doors. In there, since this is more of a fall setting, there's chrysanthemums, and everything is just all very simple, very the textures all go together.
And there's a fountain there too
I
that
see that,
provided
yeah.
a focal point for the patio as well as from indoors looking out into the backyard. Let's go on to another one. This is a home in Prince William County. And these folks had some drainage problems. You can see they had
issues.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the backyard was really not working for them. And they just wanted that area to create more space for entertaining, and they wanted to introduce a water feature, and they wanted to control the water that was rolling down that hill towards them
And
as
what
well.
did you do? Oh, my, look at that. It's not even the same. No.
Different. You can see that the patio is now an interlocking concrete paver patio, and there are tall stack stone walls that are nice and thick and tall to hold back that slope. And then there's a wonderful water feature that is centered in the backyard so that it can be enjoyed from the screen porch, from the deck, and from the patio as well.
Well, this home is in McLean, and it was more of a, it's very secluded, it's very shaded, and the homeowner actually wanted to have an entranceway to go down to the bottom part of their lawn. They have a lower lawn, and they wanted to keep some of the green, but they wanted to bring in more light and make it more inviting.
All right.
We introduced the stepping stones that went up to their patio, and it went down to the lower edge, and we left some of the grass, but not a lot, but we brought in some shade-loving plants. Pieris japonica, which is a shade-loving plant. There's a lot of hostas, autoleucans, everything that would be inviting and welcoming to come into, and it opened up the property quite a bit.
Instead of just having narrow little stepping stones up, you made it natural with a big, wide steps. Oh, my.
It is a townhome in Old Town Alexandria. The stairway going up through the middle that existed there was so dangerous, I was afraid to go up into the backyard. I was afraid I would fall. Let's take a look at how we did this.
Okay. Oh, my.
So,
Are those Japanese maples?
they
look like
are,
maples.
and those are that's the only thing I kept from what was already there previously. We had those already on site, so we kept those because they were magnificent. And then we put in a new patio that is flagstone. That is a dry-laid flagstone, and much better stairs, nice wide stairs,
Right.
so it's easy to go up into the backyard, and then a flat sodded play area.
And you know, so many times you'll see landscapers go out there and do, and I know you folks don't because I've seen many of your jobs, they'll go in with the wrong kind of material for townhouses. You know, they'll go in great big towering metasequoias and London plane trees and maple trees and things that get so big. It's just the right kind of a plant. for the
Right.
location.
And in this particular one, as Linnell said, that the homeowner wanted a children's garden.
Right.
And, you know, that would attract butterflies and hummingbirds and such. So we had the swamp hibiscus, the hardy hibiscus. We added that would attract hummingbirds. We have, of course, the buddleia, the butterfly bushes, gaillardia, monarda, bee balm, all those flowers that the hummingbirds and
the butterflies
attract. And we also had a nice little mix of the stackies, the lamb's ear, and we had the hens and chicks everywhere. So it would have nice texture and different color.
Well, let's see what else you've got now.
Here we have a terrace in Washington, D.C. It's the Watergate.
Oh, okay.
And so this homeowner, as you can see, lives on, has a ground floor terrace, lots of white walls, and so it was a little bit hard looking and just a big open space. Created softening and screening for those walls, and you can see now it's much easier to have spaces that look like rooms and spaces that where
people
have
friendly.
your entertaining.
People
much
friendly.
more people friendly, and spaces where the table belongs in its own space, the seating area has its own area, and so that helped to soften it a lot.
The plants that we added, the pendulous spruce, We've got a lot of things. Mostly there's Nandinas in there. There's willow leaf, cotoneaster, things that will drape over the stacked walls. But everything that was in there just had it had its own little place, and it just...
There's even some screening across the back where the iron fence is. There are some ornamental grasses that will grow up and create a partial screening so that you can still sort of see through, but yet it softens it a good bit. I put this one in to remind us to talk about different materials for different homes. And in this case, I wanted to show you a different kind of stone. The house actually had this, the wall stone on a portion of the house, and the bricks were a very soft sort of coral color. They were a sanded, beautiful brick, and the blue just didn't seem like the right color. So we introduced this gold and rose sandstone that, that actually comes from another part of the world, but it is available to us, and so we did lots of work utilizing those colors, and they blend beautifully with the stone and the house itself.
Okay.
We can go to the next one because it's another shot of that same area. This is actually a fire pit, and this is a seating area around the fire pit where the family and their close friends can gather on chilly evenings in the spring and the fall. This is a town home. As you can see, we don't do all large homes. We do some, but we also do a lot of town homes.
Yeah.
And here you can see that the yard didn't really have much focus. So, and there was also a drainage problem. So let's see what we did.
Wow.
You see there's a patio, and the stones on the far left side, you see the little river stones?
Yeah.
That's actually part of the drainage solution there.
There's some climbing hydrangeas that will go up and soften the walls over time. And there's more autoleucans, and there's a butterfly bush. It's a hydrangea. There we go. So that's not a butterfly. It's a hydrangea that's right there. But so that'll add a lot of color during the summer. And those are the other trees work, the existing trees. But it really softened the whole look. No more grass to mow.
Which is oftentimes what people are asking for when they're in a townhome. They want to be able to use the space and not have to mow a tiny little patch of grass that's hard to keep green.
Right.
Now, what are some of the issues that you face when you're the homeowners face in landscaping?
Well, erosion is one. Drainage issues is another. And what to plant, which plant to plant where, whether it's sun, shade. But I think erosion and drainage is major things, and it's usable space. They want to be able...
shady yards.
Yes, shady
yards. In Alexandria, there's some of the beautiful homes, and the trees are, it's also shady.
Right.
Yes.
You got to deal with that.
We work really hard to put the right plant in the right spot.
Right, and you go into Arlington and everybody's yard is on a slope or a hill some way or somehow. And then to try to make it a flat space where they can actually put a table and chairs and be able to sit outside means that we've got to work with that slope and make it a feasible solution.
I saw your people working in one area. It was very shady, and they were thinning out the trees so that sunlight could come down. And they're not butchering them, but doing the right job so that sunlight can come down so that you people come in there, landscape crew, and make it beautiful. But if you just put that beautiful garden in and the trees haven't been pruned, it's no way. Yeah.
Yes,
So.
we do look at that. That home in McLean that we talked about earlier, we did some of that kind of work there to allow it to be a little bit more open, a little bit more light.
The site, and we do work a project, we go to the project and we stay with the project. We don't leave the project. We make sure that everything is taken care of before we go anywhere else. We make sure the homeowner is happy and pleased, and then we go elsewhere. But we do stay on our job.
Keep the crews working so that we stay on time with our commitments to our clients, and we also stay on budget so
That's
that
what I was going to say that. I only got about a minute left, but I do know you have a program that if somebody says, well, that's a lot of money, can we take for it? You budget it out over the period of time.
We work in phased implementation at times. Sometimes that's the best way to help people to
and the other is,
get everything they want.
The other is, what I like so much is you have somebody go out there and say, look, you got bagworm on there, you got lace bugs on there, we're going to take care of that. You have a follow-up program.
Yes,
we do. And we extend people's plant warranties if they use that program so that they don't have to worry about, well, what happens if my plants die in 3 years?
Yeah, you have a guarantee too.
Yes, we have very good warranty.
Thank you for watching Gardening News and Views.